Hello, Development Discovery community.
Hello.
Right. Hello. Today we are going to discuss the jolly trip that Alan and Pauline had this week, and as a consequence of the month of work that has happened at Stoke Fleming in Devon.
So I suppose that there's a lead into this. Stoke Fleming, I think we updated the last update that we did, which is a little while ago. Stoke Fleming, we are in for planning. We've had all the consultee responses back, and broadly speaking, if you ignore the ones that you would expect from those in the local community that don't want any development to happen, and it appears there aren't enough of them to kind of allow this to go to committee. There was only, I think, maybe four comments that were negative. That actually means that the main planning risk part is behind us. There was one issue that we haven't resolved as yet, which is to do with transportation and the size of the garages. We've gone for a kind of garage that's the size of a parking space. The planners are asking for, so we've gone by 2.5 by 5 metres. The planners are asking for 3 by 6. We don't have the land to do 3 by 6. In that way, it would mean a whole kind of reshift. So we may take the view that they need to come out and go back in its parking spaces, or alternatively, we might just reduce the number and do garages on one side, which would mean we'd probably have 7 or 8 garages rather than the 14 we've got now or 12 we've got now. Mm-hmm. So that's the precursor to the trip. We put this trip together as a sort of design team meeting to discuss construction, because the method of construction is going to determine how quickly, how cost effectively we put this thing together. The one thing that we are absolutely convinced of, we within Development Discovery and Discovery 2 particularly, is that we've actually got the design we feel really strongly about. We feel like we've got something there that if we just execute this properly, we will get really good values for it. And that in turn will feed itself back into kind of enhanced returns for our partners, which is great. Mm-hmm. Partners and investors. So we've gone down, we've met with, so just to kind of give a feel, we've met with the QS, civil engineer, structural engineer, also a couple of guys from the contractors, a couple of guys from the architects, and ourselves. We went down there to determine the construction method, at least the options, and discuss them, and any things that we had to deal with. So technically we had a long discussion on how we were going to deal with the surface water drainage. I won't bore you with the details of that. Suffice to say, we've kind of got that sussed as a result of the discussion. We are waiting for planning, but that's aimed for June. We're waiting for the planner to come back to us and just say she's happy, or she remains happy. She gives a very strong pre-application, as you know from the last update. And that's kind of where we find ourselves. So we had a good strong kind of design team meeting. We've agreed on going out to 2 different types of frame manufacturer, Metsec, which is a lightweight steel frame, which would go with concrete floors, and also timber frame as another way of looking at it. So we're looking at both, we're going to examine both, see what's the most cost effective, and our preference is the Metsec for what we're doing, but we need to come back.
Could we cover just briefly why Metsec?
Why Metsec? Okay, because, actually, for me, it's concrete floors more than it is a steel frame. It's lightweight, so lightweight generally means cheaper. Mm-hmm. It's also fully designed by Metsec, so that puts the onus on the building design, if you like, and any future liability firmly on their shoulders, so they're going to do it in the most efficient manner. Concrete floors for me on flatted properties are really important because it deals with a couple of things that are real kind of genuine, can be showstoppers and can be things that really annoy you, fire and sound. Mm. And so with a concrete floor solution, you pretty much deal with all that. Mm. And they design in the service runs and everything like that. And so that's why I'd want to go Metsec. It's light, it's quick.
Yeah.
So it's as quick as timber frame.
Yeah.
Which is really important.
And what about the balconies? The balconies are easier to build
they're easier in one respect, in the respect that they become fully part of the structural floor. Mm-hmm. Other than that, yeah, fine. The ones that sit the main balconies that we're really excited about, the ones at the top, because they'll be kind of really substantial and significant. Again, they'll completely fine.
Right.
they'll be really solid. So yeah, so in terms of timelining, Stoke Fleming, we're basically expecting to get planning in June. That's what the planner has told us, that she would be aiming to get everything back to us by the 4th of June. We are expecting, so we're going through, obviously we will have created quite significant planning gain. So we're looking to do a refinance at that point in time, which is great, because that will allow us to reduce our gearing. It'll also allow us to free up some of the cash from day one on our construction finance to pay for the fees element, as well as rather than looking for additional investment from our community. So that's great as well. Yeah, so hopefully out in June, and then really building regs we're hoping will be done in that time, and then be looking to get that verified July, August, starting on site maybe September time, because we'll be kind of doing all our negotiations with our contractors during the months of July and August.
And that ultimately should allow us to be marketing the units in spring.
Which is the key thing for them.
That's the window opportunity that we have.
So if we miss that, then that's a real difficult thing for us. So we want to be September, October time latest, so that we will have, and particularly if we're doing this via a framed solution, that frame will be up. People will be able to see what we're after. Hopefully we'll have a working core, and we can get some of the kind of top units nearing completion, so that for Easter next year, it would be great to think that we would have a show flat open and able to kind of sell from there at great values. So that's what we're after.
Yep.
And that's probably the update, isn't it?
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's it. See you next time.